Greetings, glorious citizens of Kekistan, for I bring you the most kektastic story of possibly this whole month, and well, the end of last month, technically. And I'm, of course, talking about the amazing, groundbreaking performance art project that is He Will Not Divide Us. Yes, the same old, amazing, kektastic art performance made jointly by one Shia Labeouf, and of course that weirdo philosopher guy who's the son of Will Smith. And this, of course, was created to protest the inauguration and election of President Donald Trump. And of course, this is meant to last the whole 4 years of his current term. I don't know if they're going to do it another 4 years if he runs again. And the point is that, well, they're going to prove to us that Trump is not going to divide America. I mean, he can't really divide me because I'm here in the UK, obviously. Now, the point is, they basically set up a camera at this museum somewhere. I think it's the Smithsonian. I could be wrong. It's one particular art gallery somewhere in America. And the point is that they have a camera and it's live streaming continuously 365 days a year. And basically, Shia Labeouf and occasionally Jaden will go up to the camera along with other people. It's open to the public, well, sort of anyway nowadays, and they simply walk up and go, "He will not divide us. He will not divide us." And they will also chant it as well, like a cult, as you'll soon see. However, what Shia wasn't banking on, which I'm surprised really, considering that he really ought to know that this was probably going to happen, that Paul, shitlords, Kekistanis, all the glorious people of the internets who either are pro-Trump or just anti-SJW, flocked to his little public art performance to, you know, give it a little bit more of them spicy memes. And what followed, well, let's just say it was absolutely amazing. Now, what happened was that Shia LaBeouf would pretty much almost every day go up to the camera and say he will not divide us, and occasionally join in with other people, while Jaden very rarely showed up. He kind of was there occasionally, but not every day, even though they're supposed to be doing it every day. And what you see progressively is Shia LaBeouf get more and more frustrated, more and more manic and mental as time goes on, as he starts shouting at people, assaulting people, and at one point he even gets arrested. But why talk about it when I can simply show you?
Us, he will not divide us. He will never divide us. He will not divide us. We must ensure the existence of the white people on the streets. He will not divide us. 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 Dude, your beard tastes like fucking cheese. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Now, this is the first video footage of Shia LaBeouf going a bit unhinged. As you can see there, he's shouting at the guy who's basically just using alt-right memes and poll memes. And for some reason, he's getting really, really frustrated. He really can't take the banter. He really just can't handle these other people coming in and messing it up. I mean, it's supposed to be that Trump will not divide us, and yet he really doesn't want those people there. So technically, isn't he dividing people? Just wondering. But anyway, after that, he gets even worse, as you can see here.
He will not divide us. 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 Pepe! He will not divide us. 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 divide us. He will not 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 divide us. Did you get it off? He will not divide us. 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 He will not divide us.
Now that guy that he attacked and chased down the street, in fairness, was actually getting on his nerves throughout that whole day. But hey, whatever, it's trolling, and if you can't handle it, you can't fucking handle it. And well, there's only one person who's getting triggered here, and it's not that guy. But come on, you don't assault them, you just call the security to remove him. But then again, that's dividing him. And all he did was shout Pepe, and Shia just loses it. And bear in mind, people, all this is in the first 3 days. And this is meant to last 4 years. I'm not even shitting you. I wish I was. Now, there's one event that people forget, and that is that Shia Labeouf almost, kind of literally, sexually assaults this guy. I think he was a Trump supporter, though he may have been part of his whole shebang. But he basically just starts mouthing on his cheek and snogging it. I mean, just check it out for yourself.
Give him a little kiss, man. Give him a little kiss.
I was exaggerating. I mean, I guess he took it in good humour, but seriously, really, Shia? All you're doing is shouting "He will not divide us," and you're already becoming some kind of weird bewitched person. But then, on the evening of the third night, Shia gets arrested.
He will not divide us.
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 He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
Now, what was he arrested for? Well, it was yet another assault, and well, who did he assault?
Here at the He Will Not Divide Us exhibit, and some guy posting a phony claim that Shia assaulted him.
So he went up to me, between me and the camera, and we were saying we were not dividers, we were repeating the mantra to each other.
Okay.
And then he goes and, like this suddenly, on top of me to push my scarf down.
Physically feel him touch you?
Yes, twice. And then the second time he went and he pulled on my scarf, and that's when I fell because he was choking me. When he went like this, and I fell to the ground. I don't like being in front of cameras, I don't like being, but I'm still there to show solidarity.
Alright, no problem.
Yep, he assaulted his own cultist, who was just, saying "He will not divide us, he will not divide us," and then Shia, of course, goes crazy, hence why he was arrested. But it wasn't just Shia who was going nuts. His own fans, his own people who were there doing the "He will not divide us" thing, who weren't trolls, they were also going absolutely crazy. And I think this one in particular stands out. It just completely and utterly stands out, where this guy goes totally and utterly insane because this one person keeps going, "Ray!"
Divide us. He will not 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 divide us. He will not. Shut the fuck up! Just shut the fuck up! 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 They will not divide us. Neither will fucking he. So don't come out here if you're a troll. He will not divide us.
I honestly just don't have any words. Let's just talk about the chanting and the general weird cult-like behaviour that's been going on with this thing. Now, as you know, people, all they've been doing is chanting "He will not divide us," and they get progressively more culty, a little bit more kind of bewitched about this whole thing. They just look like they're having epileptic fits. They look like they're having some kind of weird witchcraft thing. And it's really disconcerting and really weird. It's kind of like that footage that came out of students chanting, "We have nothing to lose but our chains," in those classes. It's like a typical cult. It's really weird. And some people are getting really into it, and it's just really stupid. It can be funny, but sometimes it borderlines on just insanity and creepiness. I mean, just watch.
He will not divide us.
People criticize
He will not divide us.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but
He
I
will not
personally
divide
thought
us.
it was fantastic.
Oh yeah, did I mention that Jaden Smith was here? Yeah, like I said, he rarely makes it. And here's just one thing that he does. And that's enough of Jaden. But really, what is the point in all of this? Like, apart from protesting Trump, which is fair enough, what is the point in all of this? All it is just showing how much of a cult the regressive left is. How progressives have become increasingly more insane and insular, and how they're totally losing their minds. They can't handle the least bit of criticism, the least bit of trolling, the least bit of piss-taking, and ultimately their show has been hijacked by our side. Our side is going out there, having fun with it, taking the piss out of them, and at night we're just having our own little parties, essentially, and it's really fucking funny. I mean, ultimately, this is nothing but a failed attempt to make some stupid message. As one of them said in that, Shia Labeouf is a rich white liberal who doesn't give a fuck about the working class. He couldn't give a shit about the average Democrat voter, the average Republican voter. He really doesn't give a shit. He's just an actor. And the fact that he's going out there looking like a crazy hobo, looking like a crazy cult leader, and getting progressively more insane to the point he has to be arrested, it boggles the mind. This doesn't solve anything. This doesn't stop Trump being elected. This doesn't stop Trump enacting his policies. It doesn't stop anybody from doing anything like that. It does nothing. It solves nothing. All it is, well, it's virtue signalling. That's what it is. It's cult-like, insane virtue signalling. But God, is it funny. And honestly, I'm glad they did this. And I hope they do go the full 4 years, because, believe it, we've got some keck-tastic times ahead of us. So that's He Will Not Divide Us, He Will Nut Inside Us, He Will Cook Our Wives Us, in a nutshell. It's slacktivism, but it's slacktivism in the sense that rather than just sit on the couch, they're just going for a short walk. This isn't going to solve anything. It's going to make them look more pathetic, and most likely this will contribute to yet another failed election for the Democrats and progressives. So, until next time, people, this has been Charming Man 93. Like and share the video, subscribe to my channel, donate to my Patreon, and praise Keck!